So this is an interesting story because it was the civil rights era. I was 16, a junior in high school. Um, the Freedom Riders were going down south. I wanted to go down south and join the Freedom Riders. And my parents are from the South, and they said, no way, this is not happening. So one of the things that I had been doing for quite a long time, that our family would always put us out there to do speeches, to talk at church, to sing in the choir, to just be a part of talking and expressing ourselves. And so I was a pretty good talker. so, they said, and I was a good writer, I read all the time. So they said, no, maybe you can write some speeches. And because there's a contest, and the NAACP, which my family were members of, and I was a member of the junior NAACP. They said, maybe you can write a speech on registering and voting, because that was also a big push, registering Black people, African Americans, to vote, because we had been denied the vote for a very long time. And so that's what I did. I wrote a speech on the importance of registering and voting. And there were young women from, excuse me, it was open to young women. I don't know why, just women, but there were young girls. And so there were several organizations that sponsored the young girls to participate in this contest. And I was sponsored by the NAACP, and the contest also was put on, I believe, was sponsored by George Washington Carver Association, and Arthur Palmer at the time, and Andrew Mott, Mr. Mott, were the founders of that organization, and they were politically active in the city. And so they sponsored, participated in making sure that John F. Kennedy was going to be front and center in Oregon. And so at the Jantzen Beach, there was something like the Jantzen Beach Convention Center at the time, which is right now, a portion of that is still in existence. It's over near Delta Park. And there was a big area where people could gather. So in that area was where the convention was held. John F. Kennedy came to Portland, Oregon, and he was stumping or campaigning for the Democratic nomination. And that was in 1960. And so we gave our speeches, and my speech was deemed the winner. And so the winner, so to speak, was able to be the person who went down and escorted John F. Kennedy to the podium. And so that was me. So the photo that you have appeared in the Oregonian, and my mother sent it to my grandmother. And my mom's from a large family, and her siblings were living all over the country. I visited one of my aunts maybe about 20 years after that speech, and started to go upstairs and looked over and noticed that she had that enlarged photo on her wall. Well, when I did this speech, that's just what we did. We participated the best ways we could in everything we could in the city. And so it was not important to me. I didn't understand, it didn't register the importance of what I had done. But because she had it on her wall, I figured out, well, that must have been a big deal. So I made a copy for myself, went back and found the copy that my mom and dad had, and then made a copy for myself. And so then thereafter, I've always had it somewhere in my home. It's not in a prominent space or anything like that, but you know, it's there. There's the backstory to it. the other thing that we were able to do, the other young women and myself were, we were hostesses, so to speak, at a tea for John F. Kennedy and his entourage. And that was held on Williams Avenue at a small Black boutique where the women sold baby clothing and handmade things. So I don't remember the name of that at all. I keep thinking about it because that woman's, her store no longer exists. And the gentrification of that area has wiped out all of the historical memory of Black institutions, Black business that was on that street. Very few is left. So, you know, whenever I think about that photo, that time, those are things I think about.